to what you would want us to learn and to understand, that we might be a part of this important ministry. We give you thanks for all that you have given us and enable us to give to others. We give you thanks for all those who have prepared for this night, for the food that we have enjoyed, and we ask that you bless it to our bodies so that we might continue to serve you. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I'd like to introduce our trio. We have some music here with Jared Johnson, Kim Martin, and Ray Bush.
Time goes by, sure knows how to fly. Takes no thought as it passes right by you. Old times seem just like yesterday. No reason those times should stand in our way. We were younger then. We didn't care why and when. We were living for the moment. The smiles weren't so uncommon. The sun and moon were warm. Those storm clouds came, those storm clouds went. Time don't walk, he always runs, waits for no one. Time goes by and by. Time don't walk, he always runs and waits for no one. Time goes by and by. Oh, how I cherish those memories of the past. But all those things don't, and true love will last. And when we bid this world farewell, what will remain? Only time will tell. It always runs away for no one. Time goes by and by. Time don't walk. It always runs away for no one. Time goes by and by. But I would cherish those memories of the past. But all those things gone and true love last. And when we build this world farewell, what will remain? Only time will tell. Time goes by, sure knows how to fly. It takes no thought as it passes right by you. Old times seem just like yesterday. No reason those times should stand in our way.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Malachi Gandy, and this year is my first year to have the privilege of serving on the board of directors here at our Sav-A-Life Center. And when Miss Jane Ward, who is the director of our Sav-A-Life here in Troy, asked me to speak about why I believe in or give time to Sav-A-Life, I first thought of the Fatherhood Initiative Program, which is a program where Sav-A-Life tries to grab hold of the fathers of the child and to encourage them to remain faithful in the child's and mother's life, as well as confront these men with the gospel have never heard or believed in the gospel. These fathers have an opportunity through attending meetings to earn points in our Sav-A-Life Center and can use those points to buy things like formulas, diapers, car seats, and clothes for the child. The next thing, as I thought of as to why I believe it's important to partner with Sav-A-Life, is because of knowing the stats and data that is out there about abortion, which Todd Crease, the president of our board of directors, will be coming up shortly and giving us some insight into these statistics. But tonight, I want to spend the majority of my time telling you a story that might help you understand why I believe in our Sav-A-Life Center. About 3 years ago, there was a young woman, a Hindu, from India attending Troy University. This young woman became pregnant and decided that she would have an abortion. The reason for her having an abortion is because in India, the culture is run by two things: shame and honor. As a daughter, her life would either bring honor to her family and father and family, or shame. In the case that she had become pregnant outside of wedlock, this would have brought shame to the young lady's family, and she would have been disowned by her family if they found out she had become pregnant. She believed that there was not another way to escape this reality of the shame she was going to bring on her family, so she went in to have an abortion. She went in to have an abortion, and by God's grace, she was too far along in her pregnancy, and by law could not abort the baby. So where did this young lady land after returning from the abortion clinic? Our Sav-A-Life here in Troy. Now, if you're like me, I'm thinking, well, what can a Sav-A-Life Center here in Troy do for her? I mean, the Crisis Center is only to talk women out of aborting the child, and then sharing the gospel with them and sending them on their way, right? And since she can't abort the baby, what can our center do for her? Wrong. What transpired in this young woman's life was that a godly woman named Gwen Martin, who works in our Sav-A-Life Center, took her in to live with her and walked her through another option of adoption. Gwen and her daughter Kim, who also serves in our center, ministered to this young woman faithfully. This young lady, who was terrified of her parents finding out she was pregnant, lived with Gwen for 4 months leading up to having her son. And because of the compassion and love that Gwen and Kim showed this young woman, when it came time for her to pick a family to give her son to, she had one non-negotiable. The family had to be Christians. And so on February 21st of this year, there will be a birthday for a 3-year-old boy named Mark, who lives in Smyrna, Georgia. And I believe with all my heart there will be a day coming that Mark puts his trust in Jesus and sees Jesus as the greatest treasure above everything else. While the people in Smyrna, Georgia will get to see the fruit, that seed was planted by our faithful women who are committed to the gospel in our center right here in Troy, Alabama. I love and believe in our Sav-A-Life because I love and believe in our women who serve in our Sav-A-Life and their commitment to being Christ-centered in everything that they do in our center. I am truly convinced that God is using our Sav-A-Life as a part of His plan of redemption. Beloved, God is saving a people from every nation, tribe, and tongue for His glory through our Sav-A-Life. This is something the believer must consider partnering in. And so we ask you tonight to consider giving generously to Sav-A-Life. And we want you to give for no other reason but that you believe that God has generously given you everything in Christ Jesus. Y'all help me welcome the President of the Board of Directors to give us our 2021 review, Mr. Todd Crease.
Good evening, everyone. Malachi, thank you. Malachi's a tough act to follow. So next time Miss Jane's going to have to work on that a little bit. First of all, I just want to say thank y'all y'all. I mean, it's such a blessing to see this room full of people, to know what you're coming here for. It's not just a random event that you happen to come across tonight. This is an event that you were invited to, particularly to help fund our center here in Troy. Thank you. I mean, it's just such a blessing to see y'all. And Malachi touched a little bit on Miss Gwen Martin. Miss Gwen is sitting right over there. I know she faithfully served as the president of the board for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, something, a long time. And it was such a blessing to be able to serve with her, and she's still serving. This whole thing happens with Miss Gwen as the backbone, and I just want to say thank you, Miss Gwen, for all that you do. Without you, this never would happen. Thank you. I want to speak with y'all a little bit. Malachi touched on a little bit about the numbers of abortions. Y'all know that's why we're here. Abortions are just a horrible, horrible thing that happens in our community, happens in our state, happens in our country. And it doesn't just happen in California. It don't just happen in Washington, in Oregon, in Seattle. It happens right here. It happens in Pike County. Not a center in Pike County, but women are having abortions that live here. It's not just unwed young women that don't have any other option. It's married couples. It's older people, people in their 30s, people that are well educated and thought out the process before they decided to go through with that. It's a sad state that we're in when life has become so unprecious to people that they use abortion as birth control. It's hard to even imagine that. Most of us here probably have some children. I see some little ones right here in front of me now. God's little blessings right here. I've got 4 children of my own. I never in a million years could imagine what a child could do to my life. When we had our first son, Sam, I remember telling Nicole, why would anybody ever repeat this? I mean, this is the most horrible thing. Just non-stop sleep and just the expense of diapers and just the expense and the wear and tear of a child wears on you so hard. And then we did it again. And it was just such a blessing. And then God played a trick on us and gave us another one years later. And He blessed us with a little girl not too long ago. And they changed my world. I can't imagine life without them. I imagine y'all think the same thing of your children and grandchildren, that you can only imagine life without them. And to think that you could go on without them is even unfathomable. But people do that every day. They go to Montgomery, they go to Huntsville, they go to Mobile. They travel our state, not in the middle of nowhere, not out of California. We know how people live out there, but people here think the same thing that people out there do. And I think what it comes down to, a lot of it is us as men, as the leader of our household. We have took a back seat and have let the culture, the cancel culture, unchristian people that are running our homes, running our businesses, running our communities, take a hold. And us as the church and us as the man in the house, we need to take control back. We need to be the one that is leading our wives. We need to be the one that's leading our children. When it gets time to go to church on Sunday morning, if y'all's house is anything like mine, it's the most chaotic thing on earth is trying to get your kids together to go to church. And by the time you get there, you've screamed and hollered and fussed and pulled on your kids to the point that you can't even think about why you're there. But just to know that is our responsibility. Men, Sav-A-Life, I for a long time thought Sav-A-Life was a woman's ministry. When Miss Gwen asked me to be a part of the board, I didn't really know what I would do, what would be my part in Sav-A-Life. I can't physically go help a pregnant woman. It's not my place, it's not right. But I can help raise her on. I can help make awareness to it. I can get up on the stage and I can talk about it, even though I do not really like to get up on stage and talk in front of other people. But this is kind of a call tonight for y'all men in here. Be men of faith, be men of God. Jesus Christ died on the cross that we could lead a Christian life and saved our souls for it. So I take that as a charge tonight as y'all go forward this year. Take a hold of your home. Lead your wife. She wants you to lead you. Lead your children. They want to be led. They want to see a godly man leading the household. And I promise you the Lord will bless you for it. You know, y'all, I hate to read numbers off to y'all. It's a sad, sad thing. And I have a 2020 stat for the state of Alabama. 5,713 abortions happened right here in our state, inside our four walls of Alabama. That happened in 2020. I don't have 2021 stats, and it's actually a sad thing that these stats are there, and I could go a lot deeper into and really tear into your stomachs almost some of the detail that goes into these stats. But y'all, thank y'all for coming out tonight. Think about what the Lord would have you do tonight as you think about how you can give to Sav-A-Life. We have lots of options. Sav-A-Life is not a government-funded organization. Y'all are how we fund Sav-A-Life. Y'all are how these babies are being saved. It's not money coming from somewhere else. It's a baby bottle boomerang. It is this dinner. This year we had our first Sav-A-Life golf tournament. We plan on continuing. But y'all as a community are what saves Sav-A-Life. Thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for coming tonight. And just please continue to give generously the way you always have. Our center is growing. We have things going on that we desperately need your help for to continue it on. But going forward tonight, we have Miss Rochelle Haggins that is going to come forward. She is a client of Sav-A-Life and wants to come share her story with y'all. Thank y'all.
Hello, my name is Rochelle Hagan, and I'm honored that Ms. Jane asked me to give a testimony about Sav-A-Life. I remember like it was yesterday. I was newly married, 6 months, and started feeling a little funny. I was still in Troy University. I was in my last year. And I was kind of nervous because I was away from my family. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm 200 miles away from my family. And I found out that I'm pregnant. I was scared, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do because my mom wasn't at reach with me. But I remembered my roommate, Victoria Baker. She interned at Sav-A-Life. And so I took a home pregnancy test and I said, well, I know Sav-A-Life confirms pregnancy. So let me go down there and make sure that this is correct. So I went down there and they confirmed my pregnancy. I was assured that I could have help because they came and they said, you know, do you know your Lord as your personal Savior? And I said, yes, and they prayed with me. They made me feel secure. They made me feel loved. And that comforted me in that time because I was very scared and I was very nervous because I didn't know what a new motherhood would entail. So I went off to have my firstborn son, Josiah Hankins II. Then, 2 years later, I became pregnant again. And so I did not hesitate. I went right back to Sav-A-Life to confirm my pregnancy. But this time when I came, they told me, we have maternity clothes now. And I was very fortunate to have it because maternity clothes are very expensive. So they escorted me to the back and I was able to get as much maternity clothes that I needed. And I really, really appreciate that because I really needed it. And I went off to have my second born child, Joy Hayes. I was done having children. I said, okay, God, you know, I'm done. But he had another story, he had another purpose for me. So I didn't go confirm my pregnancy with my third child, but I went to take classes because I wanted to just educate myself, because I wanted to make sure, how do you juggle 3 kids? What are some good tools to learn? So I want to let you guys know that Sav-A-Life is making a difference in this community. It is like home for me, because I know that I don't know what I would have done. Being 200 miles away from my mother, what would I have done in that situation? But I want you to know that your donations are making a difference. And please continue to give, because these are your Sav-A-Life babies.
Sure this world is where I belong. Killing the innocent is
Sarah Bible is a native of Alabama, currently living in West Alabama. She has a bachelor's degree in religious studies from Judson College and a graduate certificate in discipleship from New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. Her unique background allows her to speak from a heart of passion. Sarah began speaking a few years ago and still gets giddy when the Lord opens the door for her to share. "I shouldn't be here" is a statement that she makes often when sharing her story, a story of God's redemption, the gospel, and hope. Sarah loves getting to meet and interact with people as she shares her heart with others. She will always be up for a cup of coffee, a fun sporting event, and a good conversation about Jesus. Thank you, Sarah, for coming to be with us. Y'all will help me welcome Sarah.
It is my honor and privilege to get to be with you guys tonight. She said I'm in West Alabama, so it was a great drive over today. Y'all have the cutest town. I said something earlier, I've been to the stadium a handful of times, and I knew there was more to Troy than a stadium in school. Y'all have the sweetest town. Like she said, something I tell people all the time is I shouldn't be here. And I tell people, I know that sounds over dramatic. I know that sounds like something you would read in a headline with like a gimme kind of to get you to read more. But it really is the story of my life. But before I tell you why I shouldn't be here, if you'll give me a few moments, I want to tell you about Kimberly. Because Kimberly and I have a very special relationship, and our stories intertwine later down the road. When mine and Kimberly's life kind of converged together, Kimberly was just like any other college student that you would see walking on Troy University's campus right now. And I don't mean that to say she was boring or that there was nothing special about her, but just to say she was. She was just like any other college student. She was just like Miss Rochelle that shared, that was a student here. She's just like all the other ones that you would see walking across campus. She had big dreams, she had big goals. So that's why I said she was normal until she wasn't anymore. Again, sounds dramatic, but it's true. She was completely average until she wasn't anymore. Because Christmas of her freshman year in college, Kimberly was raped by two unknown men. She has no idea who they are. She has no idea why they picked her, for lack of better words. She has no idea what happened to them after that. She doesn't know who they are. She'll never get justice for what happened to her because she could point them out in a lineup if she wanted to. She doesn't know who they are. And with any type of trauma, there comes questions. But you add the complication of knowing no background to it. I can only imagine the questions that she asks. Why me? What now? How do I move on? If you can think of a question, I can guarantee you she asked it. But then, a few weeks later, a month or so down the road, Kimberly found out that she had conceived through that rape. Talk about questions. Again, why me? What now? Like I said, she had big goals. She had big dreams. Kimberly wanted to be a lawyer. She went in and she declared that from the moment she stepped on the campus. I don't know about anyone else in this room, but I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I still don't. But she knew from the moment she stepped on her college campus, she wanted to be a lawyer. Now what? Now she's overcoming trauma, and a trauma that she can't ever really come to a close because there's so many unknowns. And now she's got a baby. What is she going to do with the baby? She's just trying to figure out if she studies for her math test first or her science test first, much less how to take care of a baby. I don't know why, but Kimberly chose to hide her pregnancy for 7 months. If you've been a mom before, or a mom, not before, if you are a mom, if you work in the medical world, you realize that's a long time. 7 of the 9 months pregnant, she told no one. She didn't tell mom. She didn't tell her best friend. She didn't tell a trusted professor or advisor. She didn't tell a doctor. She told nobody. I don't have proof of this, but I can't help but wonder if the Lord kept her silent, because there could have been someone in her path that would have directed her to have an abortion. Because in the world we live in today, there's a lot of reasons to have an abortion, but if you're raped, it automatically means an abortion. I had so many conversations with people, Bible-believing people who come to events like you're sitting at right now, people who say they vote pro-life, or people who support pro-life ministries, or any of that stuff, and they go, I am pro-life, except. I am pro-law until. And there's always the exception to the rule, and it's always rape. I don't know if that's why she kept quiet, but like I said, I just can't help but wonder if even if it was a trusted someone in her life, they would have said, you know, Kimberly, your best option is to have an abortion. You know, you were raped, you didn't ask for this, you don't want this, so have an abortion. I don't know, but I can't help but wonder. At 7 months, the Lord broke her silence, told her family. Her family got her moving forward. She went to her first prenatal appointment at 7 months. And where do you start? There's already enough questions when you go at the very beginning to say, having a baby. Where do you start at 7 months? They started there and walked her through. And through all of the decisions, through all of the working towards that, Kimberly decided to parent through adoption. And I use that word specifically, parent, because if we truly, truly believe that life begins at conception, then that means the moment Kimberly conceived, she became a mom. The moment she found out that she was carrying a life inside of her, she then began thinking for two. And that's another something the world doesn't like to lay claim to. There's always a later deadline as to when motherhood takes place. How many baby showers have we been to and they say, we love the mom to be? She's already a mom because she's already carrying that baby. So she immediately started making decisions for two. So she chose to parent through adoption because she realized that as a college student, she couldn't take care of a baby and give it the life that she desired for that child. She couldn't do it and continue on with her dreams. That was just not the life that she wanted, selfishly for herself, yes, but more importantly, what she wanted for that baby. If she had chosen to parent that baby through a traditional way, I have no doubt that the Lord's hand would have been on that mother and that baby. No doubt. But that's not the path that she chose. Kimberly was actually adopted herself. She got her forever family through adoption. And I'm sure that helped to lead her in that decision. But that is where she laid it. She chose to parent through adoption. She had this baby, and that moment that they passed that baby to her, they adopted her in the delivery room, she held that baby, and she loved that baby. If you're a mom or dad in the room, you know that that moment seems like forever and seems so fleeting all at the same moment. Because pretty quickly they want to come and check on mother, and they want to come and check on baby and make sure that everything's the way it should be. They say, let us have the baby, we're going to tell you how much he or she weighs. We're going to take her to the nursery just to check everything out, make sure she's got 10 fingers and 10 toes. But don't worry, we'll bring her back. We'll bring her back. But for Kimberly, her decision, the plan that she laid out for her and her child, was that when she passed that baby on to that beautiful nurse and the beautiful doctor that had supported her, that was also going to be, I'll see you later. So in those fleeting moments, she didn't just pass on the love and excitement you get when you just have had a brand new baby. She was passing on a lifetime of love and joy and pride. And she wasn't saying goodbye. She was saying, I'll see you later. Because she knew Christ. And she knew that if she never got to meet her child on this side of heaven, she would meet her in eternity. She She wasn't saying goodbye, she was saying, I'll see you later. That baby was me. I was that baby. And that's why I tell people all the time, I shouldn't be here. I had a pregnant teenage mom that had conceived and raped, that didn't have a clue what she was going to do next, didn't ask for this, didn't want this, and lived in a world where abortion was not only normal, but completely acceptable in her case. I think of so many people in her life that if she had the nerve, for lack of better words, to tell them, hey, yeah, I was raped, and hey, yeah, I had a baby, but I decided to have an abortion, they would have said, good job. That's exactly what you needed to do, because you have big dreams and you have big goals, and so you took care of a terrible situation. But that's not what she wanted, and that's not what the Lord had for her. And I am that baby. I shouldn't be here, but I am. I'm here because I have a mother, a birth mother, who said, I choose you. I choose you to have a life and to have an abundant life. I got my forever family at 5 weeks, and I got my forever name too. It was really funny. In college, again, college seems to be a resounding thing in my story. I actually reached out and got my silver birth certificate. I had no idea I had another name. I didn't know how all that worked, but I actually got a name when I was born, and then when all the adoption stuff came through, my parents gave me my forever name. And so, I mean, that's even something that's just special to me in that unique story of I have 2 names. But really, through this whole process, I didn't learn about my conception until later on. I never not knew I was adopted. Does that make sense? Like, that was just a conversation we had in our family. It wasn't something that at a certain age they sat down and said, we need to tell you this. It was just how the Lord had created our family. And so it was something that my parents shared often is, the Lord gave you us through adoption. I didn't find out about the conception until later, simply because that's not exactly a conversation you have with a 5-year-old. That's not exactly a conversation you have with your 13-year-old daughter who's boy crazy. You know, and so they waited until there was the right age to share that part with me. But through this whole thing, before I knew about the conception and even after, it has continuously pointed me to Christ. And I distinctly remember going up to my mom, and I'm sure I had heard something at church, or I had heard something that my parents had said. I'm not really sure what triggered this, but I said, Mom, I get to be adopted twice. And she said, yeah, you do. Because that is exactly what the gospel is. The gospel is taking someone who is not his and making it fully his. Because when we come into a relationship with Christ, we receive full sonship and full heirship. I was having a conversation with my mom just the other day. My dad was helping with some stuff in our family, and it got to talking about, well, so-and-so gets the car, and so-and-so gets the house, and so-and-so gets the antique-cleaner. It was, one of those kind of conversations. And I am an only child, but my mom looked at me, she said, guess what, Sarah? It's all yours. So geez, thanks. But it's true. It doesn't matter that I was adopted. It doesn't matter that I didn't grow in her womb, I grew in her heart. At the end of the day, it's all mine. And that's truly what the gospel is. We get that full heirship and that full sonship. We become children of God. And especially when I learned of my rape, I saw even, not my rape, my conception through rape, let me clarify. It pointed me to him even more. Because we serve a God who takes horrible, terrible, tragic things that happen and uses it for good. Not just okay, not just we can live with this. He uses it good. I've not met my birth mother, but I did when I got my original papers and all this kind of stuff. I got a little bit of packet about her. She went on to law school. She's working in a law firm now. And again, if she had chosen to parent the traditional way, I have no doubt that the Lord's hand would have been just as much on that. But He used it for good, because now she's serving in a career that she felt called to. She's got a family. I have 2 half siblings that I've never met. I don't even think they know. I don't know if she knows that I know, but I know that I have 2 half-siblings. God uses it for good. Our theme tonight is Every Life a Purpose. It's something the director of the Sav-A-Life in the town that I live in Demopolis, something the director says all the time is every life was created on purpose and for a purpose. And for the longest time, I struggled with the first half. I could get behind that now that I'm here on earth and have flesh and blood, I have a purpose, because that's what God promises. But I struggled with that I was created on purpose, because that was never supposed to happen. You know, you can get behind a mom and a dad in a relationship with one another and want a family, whether they're surprised by it initially or they have been planning for years. You know, we can get behind that. I wasn't created on purpose. It just happened, unfortunately. No, because we serve a God who does everything on purpose and for purpose. And I don't know what your life story looks like. I don't know what you walked into the door with. I don't know if you had a fantastic day at work or a terrible day at work. I don't know if you feel like you are on cloud 9 right now or if you feel like your life is falling apart. But I do know one thing. You're here tonight for a purpose. The Lord has you here. And if you have supported Sav-A-Life since its inception, or this is the first time you've ever heard anything about this ministry, you're here for a purpose. Because we were all created on purpose and for a purpose. But if we don't think we were. This ministry has a lot of big things happening. I was telling Shane earlier, I was already excited for y'all and already supportive of her, but she got to show me around the center and share with me some of the things that they're doing. And y'all, I'm on board. I am stoked for what the Lord has for this ministry. Y'all have a huge, huge harvest living in a college town. Doesn't mean you're going to see people of later stages in life and different seasons of walk. You will, and you do. But you have a huge, huge mission field right in your back door of girls that were just like my birth mother, that are away from home, that are already trying to figure out life. I don't know about you, but I didn't know what I wanted for breakfast the next day when I was in college, much less what I was going to do with my entire life. And these girls are the same way. These dads are the same way. They find out that their girlfriend, their fiance, their wife is going to have a baby, and they go, well, what now? Because they don't know what they're doing. We don't know what we're doing when we get to the adults. But that's beside the point. They don't know what they're doing. But y'all have a mission field here in Troy, Alabama, to say, we see you, and we love you. And just like my birth mother said, I choose you. You get to look at those birth mothers and those birth fathers and say, I choose you. And that's going to look different for everybody in this room. It's, it may be that you support financially. Ms. Shane's going to come and share just a little bit about specifics. It may be that you support financially because this ministry, that's how they keep the lights on. They will not have a building with running water if you do not support this ministry. Much less but maybe it's that they have a beautiful boutique that is constantly in need of being stocked. Maybe it's that every time you go to the grocery store, you buy a pack of diapers. You get your milk, you get your eggs, you get your butter, and you get a pack of diapers. Maybe it's that whenever they have events like this banquet, the golf tournament, or anything else that the Lord may lay out, that you say, I can volunteer for that. I can show up the day of and I can decorate. I'm really good at organizing it, so I can help you lay out all your golfers or all your participants. I don't know what that involvement's going to look like. But I am confident, again, you are here tonight for a reason. God has you placed here on purpose. Because just like these babies have a purpose, your life has a purpose. So be praying. I'm sure you have been praying so hard, but be praying how the Lord wants you to be involved in this ministry. And if you need a visual, picture these 3 beautiful babies sitting right down here. Picture me. Picture these girls that you see all over campus that are walking in and cutting you off in the grocery line because they got to get back to God. Put those faces with those names and pray about how you can be involved in this ministry.
Dr. Shaw, all of that was just hard acts to follow it all together. Can we please give all our speakers? I look around the room and a lot of things have changed for a lot of us since the last time we had a dinner. A lot of things have changed for me personally since the last time we had a dinner this week. But tonight, I get to make some new friends. I get to see some old friends. And for this, I am very grateful. I'm hopeful that everyone here has enjoyed the food, everything that has been said, everything that has been sang. There's been a whole lot of words shared tonight. But tonight, this evening is about giving. Sav-A-Life would not be in Troy, Alabama, Pike County, and surrounding areas if it were not for people like you and people like me. So I have a giving testimony. The end of last year, I'm going to make it short because evidently they threw that 5-minute limit out the window. Whatever happened to it, but whatever. At the end of last year, I needed some work done at my house. And keep in mind that I'm a new widow, and so I'm living on about one income, mine. And I talked to the guy that was to do it, and he quoted me a price that was, I thought was $350 more than I really had. But I didn't fuss with him. I fussed with God. I said, God, I just don't have this money. And I felt like the Lord told me that he really and truly didn't need my little 2 cents I had in the bank to bless me. And it was like, and I'm like, okay. So amazingly, I got a call from the guy and he said, Miss Ward, the part that I needed is not going to come in, so the quote that I gave you is going to be $350 less. So what I did was I took $300 and I gave it as money. Keep in mind, this is money that I didn't think I had. I took this money and I gave it to the Lord. Because what I learned in that is that God is a God of generosity. He has no limit, no bounds whatsoever. He is able to give us what we don't think we have. After I gave this money, I remember within 48 hours, I received tenfold what I had given. Well, actually more than tenfold of what that I had given. The Lord proved himself to me. So tonight, we want the Lord to prove himself to us. As table hosts open up their packets at this time, and the guests at their tables will receive or will have what's called a commitment card. I have my commitment card because I need to make a commitment as well. And what I'm asking you is to prayerfully give to this organization. You heard tonight, you heard from Malachi, you heard from Todd, you heard from Michelle, you heard from Sarah, you heard our songs. We are here and we are viable. So as we open up, as we have our commitment cards, we prayerfully ask you to consider what you want to do and partner with us. I'm just going to be honest with you, our nurses need more space for the life-saving work that they do. They are here tonight, they work hard all day, today and yesterday in this endeavor. And they need more space. We either need a bigger building or a property to build. So if anyone has a bigger building or a property that they would like to give, we will receive all gifts. So I honestly ask you, is that something that you can help us with? As we strive to save the lives of babies, ask yourself the question, how much is life worth? How much is your life worth? And so as we do that, let's look at our commitment sheets. The hosts have passed out, and you should also have pens. And I'm going to lead the way because as the people at my job know, I don't ask them to do anything that I have never done myself. So as you look at your commitment sheets, please fill out the top portion. I want you to know that we are very glad that you are here. The next portion is also very important. What would you like to invest in this ministry tonight? There's a lot of options, so maybe you can't give $10,000 or maybe you can. But whatever you can give, please make that investment prayerfully. So my gift tonight is $200, which is actually what I don't think I have. But that's what's on my heart to give. I'm thankful for every donation that has already come in. Thank you, High County Commission, for being here tonight and for also supporting this ministry. Thank you for others that we've already received checks from and cash. The next portion says to choose an amount to make for a one-time pledge within 90 days. In other words, if your wallet isn't bulging tonight, don't have to be. Within the next 3 months, the sky's the limit. You can sell property and give it to us. We'll take it. And of course, the last portion is important as well because, you know, bills, they come every month. They don't go away once you pay them one time. That light bill, so many other supplies that our nurses need for what they're doing. So this is where you get to make a monthly pledge, which can start at any time. We have several different ways of giving, and if you notice on the back of your program, there's a QR code that if you were to hover over it, it will take you to our giving page for those who do that kind of thing. Now, the rest of us, we accept checks and cash. That's what I'm doing, right? Okay. Of course, when you're done making your commitment, please fold it real good. You should be supplied with an envelope. Put it inside the envelope and give it back to your table host. And she or he will tuck it into their big envelope. Sarah mentioned, or she alluded to, that we are a mission partners, and it's true. Troy is a place with so many possibilities and things that can really be a blessing to the community and becoming a part of that. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes, so we're still writing, putting zeros behind zeros behind zeros. Amen. Pastor Willie Blackman is back there. I remember something he said when we had an event in 2017 about when you give, and it comes back to you. And it doesn't come back in that little package that you gave it. It comes back in multiples. And he is absolutely right. God provides. And those who are finished, what I would like for you to do is just take a deep breath. Try to get some of that sugar out of yourself. Truly, I want to thank you all tonight for being here and for your support of Sav-A-Life. At this time, I'm going to turn it over into the hands of Reverend Perry Green. He is going to pray a closing prayer, but he's also going to give instructions as to what's to happen next. I do want to share that Channel 52 is recording tonight. It is not live tonight, but it will be on their YouTube page. And at that time, we will post on our Facebook page that it's up and you can watch. Those who will watch, please be encouraged to give as well and become a part of the Facebook Sav-A-Life family. Thank you all so much.
Let's pray. God, loving Father, we stand in awe as we consider your majesty and your glory, your love and your mercy and your grace. Father, you have poured out blessing upon us that we do not deserve. And I just thank you. I thank you for Sav-A-Life. I thank you for the lives that have been saved. More importantly, I thank you for the souls that have been saved. I thank you for all of the planning that went into making this night possible, for your blessing the plans and for your blessing the event itself. Father, I pray now that you'd open hearts and that you would be your love and your goodness that you have blessed us with, you would cause us to pour out from those blessings into this ministry. I pray, God, for the prayers of everyone here, for each person who volunteers, who gives of their time at Sav-A-Life. I pray for each woman and each man who will come to Sav-A-Life. That lives will be saved, that souls will be saved. And Father, I just pray that as we leave this place tonight, we would leave with a renewed commitment to serve you and to serve others, and to let Sav-A-Life be at the top of that organization, that list of places where we serve. So Father, I pray that you burden our hearts for this ministry. And I pray, Father, for each child who will be saved in the year ahead because of the generosity of each person here tonight. I pray for each soul that will be saved. And we will give you the praise and the glory and the honor in the days to come. In the precious, matchless, wonderful name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. I want you, if you would, I'm going to first off ask each of the table hosts and each of the Sav-A-Life staff members and directors to stand for just a minute right here. Now, we can stand for recognition so that people know who you are. And that's not intended for a round of applause, although I appreciate it, but so that you will know who those people are, because we want you to give your package to them. And make sure that people have the package before you leave. So where those people were, just make sure before you leave tonight that you give that package information so we can collect it. Just ask you to pray for this ministry going forward. God bless you.